speak up, lady.
La 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 la. Oh no.
I. You are your mother's daughter. Our librarian's not part of it. Danielle is not. Well, good for her. Good evening. I would like to call the library trustee meeting to order. Who would like to lead us in the pledge this evening?
I will.
Thank you.
Let's stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Kennerly. Ms. Backus, would you please take the roll?
Chair Connie Newhan,
Here.
Trustee Aisha Kennerly,
Here.
Vice Chair Jamie Merchant, absent. Trustee Shirley Teller Hayes,
Present.
and Trustee Sharice Leonard.
Thank you. Have you all had a chance to review the minutes from our September 26th meeting?
Yes.
Yes. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes? Anyone?
I move that we approve the minutes from September.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Ms. Backus, would you please take a vote?
Chair Connie Newhan,
I approve.
Trustee Aisha Kennerly,
Approve.
Trustee Shirley Teller Hayes,
Approve.
and Trustee Sharice Leonard.
Thank you. All items listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine matters, status reports, or documents covering previous Library Board of Trustee items. The items listed on the consent calendar may be enacted in one motion. With the concurrence of the Library Board of Trustees, a trustee or any other person in attendance may request that an item be removed for further consideration. Do we have a motion to accept the consent calendar?
I move that we accept the consent calendar.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Ms. Backus, would you please take the vote?
Chair Connie Newhan,
I approve.
Trustee Aisha Kennerly,
Approve.
Trustee Shirley Teller Hayes,
Approve.
and Trustee Sharice Leonard.
Thank you. Persons wishing to address the Library Board of Trustees on items listed on the agenda are requested to identify themselves and state the matter on which they wish to comment. No action will be taken on matters not listed on the agenda. The Library Board of Trustees would appreciate your cooperation in keeping your comments brief. Ms. Backus, are there any speaker cards from the public?
No speaker cards from the public.
And Ms. Backus, are there any written communications from the public?
No written communications from the public.
Thank you. It's time for our youth update. Do we have someone here to give that to us this evening? No one, huh? Not this time. All right, well, I hope they'll be here next time. We always look forward to their report. So we will move right along on to the administrative reports and the library report, and I will turn it over to you, Ms. Finch.
Thank you, Chair Newhan. So we are fortunate enough to have Martin Viegas here with us today to give the library report. Our manager, Danielle, is out of the office this week, but we have a variety of updates that Martin is going to provide for the Board of Trustees, including information on our current library programming, library funding opportunities that we've received and are implementing currently for our programs, partnerships that we have underway, our library services, including the Zip Book program, the ever-popular top titles that were checked out over the past month, and an update on some upcoming events. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Martin to provide the update.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. So welcome to today's report on, today. My name is Martin Viegas. I'm a library specialist too, and I've led our pretty much the majority of our outreach at the library here for a little over 4 years. So I'm very excited to be here in front of you today. So I guess we can go ahead and get started with some of the fun programs that we had. The special story time. So October was a very busy month and continues to be a busy month for us. It started off with our Star Wars Reads story time. So for those that may be unaware, Star Wars Reads is a national program that happens during the month of October. And we had a special story time in accordance with that. So library staff dressed up as Star Wars characters. A lot of our story time rhymes and songs were changed to match themes present in the Star Wars universe. And of course, we read some Star Wars stories for them. So that happened on Thursday, October 5th. The one that we have coming up, and we're all very excited for, is our Halloween story time happening tomorrow. And that's Thursday on October 26th. So that's our Halloween story time. Staff will once again dress up. Any littles, 0 to 5, are encouraged to dress up as well, and there will be an opportunity to trick or treat at the library after the story time. Those both started at 10:15 in the morning in the Francis Aldama Martinez Community Room. So again, look forward to that this Thursday. We're sure to have plenty of pictures, and the Friends of the Library are once again joining us in being one of the stops for our trick or treating at the bookshop. So now we can go to... So a little bit about our library funding. So currently on the screen, you see an overview of the grants that the library has received. There was a short presentation, I think, in the August trustee meeting regarding some of the grants and additional sources of funding that the library had received. In between some of our trustee meetings, we did get notification from the state library regarding 2 of our larger grants here. So the $65,000 adult literacy grant, or the literacy grant, as well as $30,000 for the Zip books, was approved in between those trustee meetings. So what you see on screen here is an updated version that includes everything. That goes over the $300,000 capital improvement project to improve the Heritage Room. It includes those $65,000 and the $30,000 from those grants that were approved, as well as money that we received from the Friends of the Library, specifically to address our Summer at Your Library program, which we are, of course, very grateful for. So thank you once again to the Friends for that. And again, at present, we don't have any current items going to council for the foreseeable future. But of course, we thank the Friends of the Library for being present during the proclamation for the National Friends of the Library Week. And then, of course, our staff, Denise, for saying some good words about them and our continued partnership with the Friends of the Library, which we obviously appreciate. So speaking of partnerships, so on the screen here, you have a pretty much a general overview of what we have currently, specific groups that we partner with, many of them with the Corona Norco Unified School District, and then, of course, the outreach. And that I can speak to a lot of the incredible work that we're doing there. We have our visits with the Senior Center. We have our visits with a couple businesses around town, Bedford Homes over in the Eagle Glen area. The drive to Eagle Glen, or the Bedford Homes, is about 25 minutes on a good day. So we save them pretty much the drive of having to come to the library, and we do a story time with their littles and their community once a month. That happens on the first Tuesday of each month. So that's something that I'm really proud to continue. That is one of our informal partnerships. So they pretty much said, hey, we have this opportunity for you to come out and engage with our residents who may not otherwise make it to the library. And of course, we jumped on that, and we've been going to them for at least the past 3 or 4 years. So okay, again, I'm very excited to continue that. Sorry, I'm running out of saliva here. I'm talking so fast. There's just so much to say. So over there, Paws of Love, for those that may be unaware, we do have a partnership with Paws of Love, and they do a program called Read to a Dog at the library that happens on the, I believe it's the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month, starting at 2:30 in the afternoon. We're very excited because this Wednesday, I have been told that the dogs will be coming in costume. So if you have not attended a Read to a Dog session before, I highly encourage this Wednesday to be the one that you go to. We have a bit of an informal puppy parade every time that they show up. It just works out that the room that the program is hosted in is pretty much the furthest room away from the library entrance. So those puppies make it all the way down the library, and they've always got a huge crowd tailing them, no pun intended. So that's a very exciting program that we've got coming up. And then again, more on our partnerships. The Genealogical Society hosts their meetings and their sessions, their workshops at the library. So we have a partnership with them. And perhaps one of the most successful ones, at least in my opinion as a staff member, is the Smart Pass program. So for our community members that may not be aware, if their child is enrolled in the Corona Norco Unified School District, that child automatically has a library card. It is just CNUSD followed by their student ID number. That program has been a resounding success. A lot of parents are surprised to find out that the barrier for accessing materials or accessing programs or resources from the library is pretty much non-existent. It's an automatic program. There are opt-out forms if a parent does not want their child to be enrolled in this program, and those are available on the school district or on their website. But again, that's been one of our more popular and definitely used partnerships that we, of course, love to continue, and that's taken advantage of quite often. The next thing that we have coming up, our biggest partnership, I would say, is the Head Start holiday event. So right around November, our staff sends out notifications to other city staff where we request them to essentially sponsor a child or two. And it's, again, another huge success, and it's a wonderful program that we're honored and privileged to continue hosting every year. This year, again, notifications should come out right around first week of November. The program usually takes place the first week of December. We are currently scheduling that, and so I believe it's been finalized, but it hasn't officially been gone out yet, so we will have more updates on that in the next trustee meeting, I'm sure. So ZipBooks. ZipBooks is a wonderful program, once again, where patrons, when we don't have a book that's currently present on our shelves, a library patron is essentially able to request that specifically for themselves. So it is a state-funded program. It's a grant-funded program. Last quarter alone, there were 673 ZipBooks purchased. Those are, again, books that weren't currently in our collection, that there was a definitive need for a specific patron or specific patrons. And thanks to the ZipBooks program, we were able to purchase those books and mail them directly to their home. So that's, again, a very popular program. It is grant-funded, so we thank the state library for that. It did start in about, I think it was 2011. It started as an LSTA grant. And currently, as of this last fiscal year, there are 96 library jurisdictions that take part in this program, including ours. So again, statewide, it is a huge success. We're proud to be part of it. And of course, our community definitely takes advantage of that. So if you ever are looking for a book and we don't already have it on the shelves, you can always ZipBook the book directly to yourself, provided it meets the qualification guidelines, which you can find either on the ZipBooks flyer or on the library website. So we're going to pivot back to library programs here. November is National Novel Writing Month, otherwise known as NaNoWriMo. It does start November 1st and last the entire month long. And we're proud to announce that the Corona Public Library is officially listed as a write-in space. Later on this evening, I'll go over the library calendar and talk a bit more about the specific event that we are hosting as a result of this. It is going to be called the Come Right In. workshop. And of course, we've got flyers and tips on writing novels available either on our website or at the event. So those of you that are budding writers, definitely check this event out. Again, it lasts all month long. It is a national program, but we will have a specific program hosted on November 9th, which we'll go over in a little bit. So now is the time where we get to talk about all of the popular books at the library. And to be quite honest, I saw this and I was actually not too surprised to see Naruto, One Piece continuing to be some of our top fiction titles. Dogman stays strong, very popular with our school-age audience. Colleen Hoover has a lot of staying power up on this list as well. And I was actually surprised to see Pokemon up there, so popular. But I guess that does speak to the now, 3 generations of readers that have either grown up playing Pokemon or currently play Pokemon. So it's always exciting to see the diversity of the fiction titles that we have on here, as well as the individual checkouts. It's always nice to see fiction checking out so much. So moving forward to our top nonfiction titles. Here, once again, Spare by Prince Harry seems to be quite popular with our audience. So we're always proud to have several copies of that either available or already on hold for our community. But those phonics series that we have for our beginning readers, that definitely takes and runs away with the total circulations. So that's also good to see that a lot of parents are either reading to their children using these materials or having the children read on their own to practice those sight words or those phonics lessons. And then on this list, we also have a Spanish nonfiction title called Orgullo Prieto, and that is by Tenoch Huerta Mejia. So it's, again, exciting to see one of our Spanish language materials be checked out enough to make this list, and I'm sure it will not be the last because our Spanish collection is growing, and we, of course, always try to push it as much as we can. We even have a Spanish collection for our mobile library as well. So we're definitely getting those books out there to the community, and it shows. They're checking out. And so ebooks. This brings us to our ebook titles here. David Baldacci, lead child to very popular authors, especially with our community. That to me is no surprise there. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a very good book, very classic read, also on this list. And then, of course, we have other Spanish titles checking out. And then Led Astray there by Sandra Brown, kind of rounding out the overall picture for our ebook titles. So there's that. Other details about our collection. At present, we currently have about 30% what we call dead items, which are items that haven't been checked out for over 180 days. And our grubby items are at about 38%. So those are items that are listed as either well-worn or loved a lot. Books that have been checked out so much that now it's maybe time to replace them. And of course, these statistics, we have a much more in-depth view of what our collection looks like, thanks to the Collection HQ program and the funds that we received for that. So Collection HQ kind of allows our collection team to view at a glance or really dig down deep into the specific circulation data for our materials and really lets us improve and bring the community the books that they want. So we're very excited for that. So now it is on to the November calendar. It is a little, I would say, quieter compared to our October calendar. One thing that did happen just this past week was the Spirits and Spirits event. So we did have 68 members of our community come out to enjoy that program. Spirits and Spirits happened on Friday. It was an evening program for those 18 plus. So we had the Haunted History podcast come out and do a live recording of their podcast at the library. And it was fun because the podcast was regarding haunted libraries. So they got to kind of have a firsthand view of a potentially haunted library, and they spoke and had a fun event. And then our patrons were also able to participate in a handcrafted adult beverage. So that's something nice to see that we're able to offer our community. And of course, they definitely came out and enjoyed that program on Friday. So again, we had 68 people attend that program, and we're excited to maybe do more of those programs in the future. So moving on to November, I did mention that National Novel Writing Month program, NaNoWriMo, that Come Right In is going to be on Thursday, November 9th, and that is going to be an evening program. So that is going to be at 5:30 p.m. It lasts about 2 hours until 7:30 p.m., and that's going to be in the High Desert Room. So you'll see that under the special events there on the calendar. Along with that, then following week, we will have a fall pumpkin craft, and this is going to be specifically for our teens. So it's anybody 7th and 12th grade. That's going to be in our Francis Aldama Martinez Community Room. And that's going to be a nice sewing activity where they can either learn to sew, practice their sewing skills, and make a nice little pumpkin that they can then keep and take home for the holidays. We do have an updated story walk for this month. So this month's book is My Papi Has a Motorcycle. That book actually is about Corona. It is about the author who grew up here, Isabel Quintero. So she did grow up here in Corona and wrote a book about her experience as a Latina growing up with her dad, who of course takes her on a fun motorcycle ride, explaining to her all of the different things that she sees throughout the circle and the city. So we're very excited to host that book for our story walk in November. And then closures to note, we will have some closures due to the Thanksgiving holidays from our schools. So those school-aligned programs like the Homework Center and Math Tutor, they will be taking a break for the Thanksgiving break. So you do see some library closures on there, again, in accordance with some of those programs, and for Veterans Day as well. Rounding out the library report, I'm happy to present a video that was recorded earlier this year. So between 2020 and 2022, the On the Go program, which is our main outreach activity that we host weekly at the parks, we do story times and other fun activities. So the State Library came out and recorded that session with us, and they provided us with this wonderful video about the use of the grant funds and the impact that it can have on the community. So we will go ahead and I guess So our shared vision project is called On the Go Lesson Boxes. And so what we wanted to do was kind of revamp our normal outreach procedures. We wanted to be more inclusive to several aspects of the library, more than just a story time and craft. And so what we ended up doing was incorporating some literacy components, social and emotional learning, maker components, as well as more recreational opportunities for our patrons while we go out to the parks and deliver library materials. I would say that the best thing that this project allowed us to do was really just become more inclusive, not only for our staff, but for our patrons as well. Previously, it had been mostly, an after-school activity, or for in the mornings, it was mostly for preschoolers. And what we've been able to do is transform it into kind of an all-family type of gathering. So we've noticed, toddlers, school-age children, teenagers, parents, they're all coming together to participate in the program. And that was one of our goals, was we wanted to see more interactions between those age groups. So for us, it's really rewarding to see that actually come to fruition. And it's definitely been one of the best spots of this grant project.
The most rewarding part of the project was the interactions with the patrons. The most rewarding part of the project was the interactions with the patrons. Seeing the kids doing their activities, we usually have a template that actually assists them on what they need to do, but they actually take it a step further, and they actually really creative. They actually think of ideas that we actually didn't think of.
He's really active, of course, he's 2, so he gets to run around, be social with other children his age, do hands-on activities afterwards. It's nice to do it outside, have the interaction with the other students, meet other parents, and it's good with the mixed age groups as well, so it's really inclusive.
Everybody in all different age groups kind of gets their own share of the activities and everything that's done. You're out in nature and you're able to take part in community, and also, check out books and do things that maybe you wouldn't be able to do with just yourself and your child.
We really do have something for everyone. And I know it might sound a little cliche, but it's true. As we've definitely seen all age groups come together and participate in this program. And we make sure of that. We set that out to be our goal. Anytime that we bring families together, especially at a space like the parks or any local community space, it really adds an emphasis to what we're trying to do that day, whether it's pushing a literacy focus or a recreational focus or even a STEAM or maker focus. We're really able to provide several library services in one program, and that basically opens the doors to invite anyone and everyone to participate. So that is it for the library report. One last thing I will add on there is that On the Go will be expanding in January. So we are going back to 2 outings a week as opposed to just the 1. Thankfully, we did get some staffing updates to allow for that. So if you have any further questions about outreach, On the Go, our partnerships, or anything included in this report, feel free to contact me at my number or email there. And of course, any other questions, you're welcome to contact our library manager, Danielle Whittington, or of course, Ms. Donna as well, for anything that might be on your mind. So I thank you for the opportunity to present today. And yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Villegas. I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Let's go with the last item first, Lars On the Go. Are you checking out library books on those outings also, besides just the recreational part?
Yes, absolutely. That is always the focus of each outing, and it's the last thing we pack up at the end of the day when we're finished with the outing is the library books. So we do have a
I
dedicated.
just wanted to make sure. I was on the Library Foundation for many years raising money for those vans, and that was before recreation and the library services merged, and I just want to make sure they're getting those books too. So on the dog Paws of Love, what time is that?
That takes place starting at 2:30, and that is going to be on Wednesday afternoon.
Okay. It reminds me if anybody's been to Memphis and the Peabody Hotel with the Duck March. Okay, you'll have to look it up, but they come out twice a day. They march out to the pond, right in this elegant hotel. They march to the aisle, down the aisle, go in the pond, and then in the evening, they march back, and they have a duck master. It's quite something. It's right in the heart of Memphis. The zip books, those books, once they're returned, they are cataloged and put into the collection?
Yes, so when those books are returned, patrons are asked to let staff know that it is a zip book. Since it isn't checked out in the traditional way where it has an item barcode, it is mailed straight to that patron based on the address that they have on file. So when that book is returned, it is processed. Many of them do end up on our shelves, or a couple of them are either passed on as or returned as part of the program if it's decided that it is not going to be something that is popular enough to maintain.
Okay, thank you. And one last thing, on the Novel Writing Month, what age group is that open to?
That is for all ages.
All ages?
All ages, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, trustees?
I have a couple of things. When you said the mobile library, is that the Lars vans that Connie was speaking of?
Yes, so On the Go, previously known as Lars On the Go, now known as Community Services On the Go, that is both of our outreach vehicles. So we have one vehicle that visits the senior center and we use for special events, and the other vehicle is our dedicated On the Go van. So that is where we do the story times, the book checkouts, getting people library cards at the parks. We have state parks passes that we also have in the mobile library collection that we check out at the parks as well. So it really is a one-stop shop for pretty much any library service at the parks. And so, yes, we do use those vehicles for those outings.
And the first Tuesday of the month at the Bedford Homes, that's story time, right? And where is that at the Bedford Homes?
So that is in the Sunkiss Lounge at Bedford Homes. And then every month that we go, it is also advertised on their community app. So it is a regularly scheduled program. We're there from 10:30 to 11:30 in the morning, and we do a story time, we have a craft, and of course, we have mobile items for them to check out there as well.
Oh, okay. And I happen to use zip books, and I have one. And I hope it does get put on the shelf because it's it's a book that probably I think that everybody should read. So thank you very much for coming. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Yep,
Are
thank you.
there
Nice to see you all.
other comments?
I was just going to say, Martin, that this was very well done. I mean, it's very thorough, and it's a lot going on at the library, that's for sure, for all ages, and that's good to know and to see, because I also used to order zip books, and at one point, I think they had discontinued that, so I'm glad to see it's brought back. But excellent job with your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Ms. Backus, are there any speaker cards from the public?
No speaker cards from the public.
And are there any written comments from the public?
No written comments from the
Thank you, and I think we already did our comments. So gosh, we're down to trustee communications. Trustee Leonard, I know you have comments tonight on your book event over the weekend.
Took me a second. I was like, what? I don't know. Yeah, this Saturday, the library, or the Friends of the Corona Public Library, in conjunction with the public library, held the annual thriller, mystery, and crime author event. It was absolutely amazing. We had five authors that were present, and then it turned out that we had 3 published authors in the audience. So it was well attended. We sold out, and I am now have a slight obsession with signed books. So I'm just saying, this is really helping me build up my collection and bring down the amount in my checking account. So we won't talk about that. In addition, Friends of the Corona Public Library had a great meeting this last month. During that meeting, we wrote and signed off a check to cover the new kitchen in the Francis Aldana Martinez room, which we're really looking forward to, because I don't think I realized how many things that kitchen plays host to, but it really does. We used it yet again just for the author event. So it really is something that's important to the Friends, as well as to the library, because the improved kitchen will allow for more opportunities for events and things like that in the Francis Aldana Martinez room. And when that money was bequeathed to the library, I know that family's intention was that room would be heavily used and enjoyed by the community. So we are really proud to be a part of that. And we look forward to the other things that we're able to contribute to the library. In addition, we've started our Ladders and Linguini meetings. Ladders and Linguini will be February 22nd, I think is the right date. And so we're already in those planning stages and really looking forward to it. That's all.
Trustee Leonard, Trustee Teller Hayes.
I attended the mystery authors luncheon. It was really interesting. It was packed. The authors were hilarious. And I was also inducted into the authors committee board. So now I'm helping to plan them. And the next one is in April, and it's the historical fiction.
You're stuck now.
I know. And it's the historical fiction. So I'm looking forward to the kitchen being done. So everybody should attend that one, because that's really, it's going to be a really interesting meeting too. So.
I congratulate the Friends on having the foresight to appoint someone so perfect for the role. And Trustee Kennerly.
Well, I'm speaking on behalf of the Circle City Chorale, the group that I'm a part of. Our winter performance will be December 9th at the United Methodist Church in Corona on California. I'll have to get the exact address. But we'll also be performing at the library that week, December 5th, just to give you a taste, to also encourage others to come out and watch us perform. And that Sunday, December 3rd, we'll be singing at the Corona Christmas tree lighting ceremony. So we get a little busy schedule in there. Also in November, we do visit a couple of the convalescent homes in the community, and we sing Christmas carols and things for them. So
Excellent. Keeping our retired former librarian busy.
Yes.
Miss Abby. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us for the Board of Trustees meeting this evening. And we will be adjourning at 6:05. Our next meeting is Thursday, I'm sorry, I was thinking Thanksgiving, is after Thursday Thanksgiving on Tuesday, November 28th. And we'll see you right here. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Halloween.
Yes.
And be safe. Thank you.